Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. Happy 4th of July. We had a great time at the lake. Our time at the lake is now over, but it was nice. It was really nice. I think we're just going to go to the pool today. I hope that all of you have been having a wonderful holiday weekend, hanging out with family or whatever. But I wanted to talk to you about a situation that happened while we were at the lake because it's always so interesting to me how habits form. And when you have, when you have children, you can actually see both good and bad habits starting, forming, continuing. So one of the things that we are dealing with Olivia, who's our oldest, is manipulation, but it's not malicious. So it's very easy to overlook it. It's very easy to want to let it go because Olivia comes from a very genuine place, a very good-natured place. She's not manipulative. No, she's not malicious in her manipulation. But yet the habits are starting. So, Jamie, what do you mean? I'm glad you asked. So yesterday at the lake, Olivia wanted this yogurt with M&Ms in it. Now, I am all about allowing my children to have treats, but I do limit their sugar intake because it just isn't good for their brains to consume 100 grams of sugar, even on holidays. You know, I'll let them have special treats. I'm not like mean. Oh yeah? Yeah, I am. But we're not just gonna consume sugar all day just because it's a holiday. Anyway, I said, sure, you are welcome to have the yogurt with the M&Ms, but just know that there is cake after dinner and you're not gonna have both. So if you wanna eat the M&Ms, which is really what she wanted. She didn't really want the yogurt, but it was like a part of it. Anyway, I said, you're welcome to have it. So she was like, so if I don't have the yogurt, I can have the cake? Yes. She was like, all right, I won't have the yogurt. Cake time comes. She has the cake. She's so happy, whatever. About 15, 20 minutes after she had cake was put away, everything was done, she comes back to me and taps me on the shoulder while I'm talking, and she's like, Mom, Dad said that I could have the yogurt. So is it okay if I have it? Now, the reason she came back to me and didn't just go get it after her father said she could have it is because she knew that she was wrong. She knew that her father didn't know that we had already discussed it. She knew that if she asked her dad if she could just have some yogurt, make it real innocent-like, that he would say yes. She also knew that if I caught her eating it after the conversation we already had, she would be in trouble. So probably her Catholic guilt, she came to me. So I said to her, let me get this straight. You asked me if you could eat the yogurt. I said, absolutely, you can eat it, but just know if you eat it, you can't have cake. You made the choice to eat the cake instead. When the cake was done, you then went to your father and asked him if you could also have the yogurt, which he said yes to. And she was like, yes. So I took her inside and into the bedroom and I said, I want to talk to you. And I want to explain to you why you are wrong. I want to make sure that you get it. So I explain it to her. Of course, she gets upset because she knows she's wrong, not because she's in trouble. She wasn't punished. She wasn't in any trouble. But she had to own her manipulation. And for a lot of people, that is very difficult. They don't want to acknowledge that they are capable of that or they are responsible for that, even at 8 years old. I know a lot of adults who do it and don't want to take responsibility for it. So when we walk back into the lake house, she's visibly upset. So of course, people, what's the matter with Olivia? What happened? So I explain it and they miss the point. Oh, just let her have the yogurt, Jamie. It's a holiday. Just let her have the yogurt. You guys are not helping. Right, about that. It isn't about the yogurt. It's about the manipulation and the bad habits that are starting now. You see, when they're 8.5, it's easy to just let them have the yogurt. Just go have the yogurt, girl, and overlook the manipulation. But an 8-year-old who manipulates, even from a not a malicious place, becomes a 12-year-old who does it, becomes a 17-year-old who does it, becomes a 21-year-old who does it, becomes a 30-year-old who does it. And here's the thing. Some of you may say, Jamie, you're wrong. My child did it then, but doesn't do it now. And to you, I say you may be the exception and not the rule. Why would I risk it? How can I parent properly if I see dangerous behavior and I just let it go? Much in the way that if I saw her hanging from a tree by one arm, I would say, Olivia, that's dangerous. That could hurt you. Well, guess what? Manipulating is dangerous and it can hurt you. And I don't want children who manipulate. I really don't. And more importantly, I don't want to be in a situation where my husband and I are divided by our children. This is not a tag team. We are a team. We are like this. So when you pit my husband against me, when you go to daddy after mommy's already said no, what you've done is you've caused a problem for mommy and daddy. And that's not fair either. So what I ended up doing was asking Olivia to retell me why I was upset with her, what the issue was, because I needed to make sure she understood it. I was calm. We were alone in a room. There was no embarrassment. There was no yelling, no threatening, no nothing. I said, I just want you to explain back to me why mommy is disappointed. And she said, because I asked you if I could have the yogurt and I agreed to have cake instead. And then I went behind your back and asked daddy if I could have the yogurt. And I said, why is that wrong? And she said, because the rule in the house is if one parent says no, we are not allowed to ask the other parent once the no has been given. Right. Do you understand why I'm upset? Yes. So I said, great. So after a while, she was fine and playing and whatever. I went to her and said, would you like some of the yogurt? Some of the other kids were getting some of the yogurt with the M&Ms. And I said to her, would you like a little bit of it? You can't eat a whole one, but you can have a little bit. And she said, yes. And I said, a better way to handle it next time would be to just come to me and say, I know I said I wouldn't eat it and I already ate the cake, but I really want some of that yogurt. And I may have still said no, but at least I wouldn't have been so disappointed in the way you handled it. So hopefully the lesson stuck. You know, she's only 8, but why do I share that with you? I share it with you because, well, first of all, it's easy to let outside people excuse certain, guilt you into excusing certain behaviors with your husband, with your children. Don't. If something doesn't feel right to you, stick to your guns. Your husband, your marriage, your wife, whatever, your kids, stick to your guns. Secondly, I share it with you because when you see something, say something in all aspects of our life. And if you see behavior in anybody that you love, it is okay to say, listen, I don't think this behavior is going to be good for you. I really don't. And here's why. Especially with our children, it is so, so, so important. The last thing I ever want is to have children who manipulate other kids or, I don't want it. I know what that's like. I was that kid. I was that person. I don't want it. Anyway, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. All right. I love you guys so much today. Have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. Enjoy your family. And when they get to be too much, sneak around the side of the house and have a drink. I love you. Have a great day.